The original Bama Football Tailgate Show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad with former Crimson Tide Sports Network broadcaster and SEC Network play-by-play voice, Mick Gillispie. The Bama Football Tailgate Show is presented by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. The only beer you need at a Bama tailgate party. Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play. Now featuring the Sportsbook at the Timeout Lounge. Also brought to you by the Flora-Bama world-famous beach bar and lounge in Orange Beach, Alabama. Genesis of Tuscaloosa, luxury with a national championship service department. Sevierville, your Smokies start here. Visit Sevierville.com. Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like. R&R Cigars, home of the Cigar Mansion and Victory Cigar. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa. Unique Bar on the Strip, home of the NFL, MLB, Premier League package. Catch all the games at Unique. Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports. Not too small, not too big. Tuscaloosa is pronounced just right. Visit Tuscaloosa.com. Pond Royale, located at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. And NewLifeArt.com, publisher of Fine Art Editions by Daniel A. Moore. Use the code Bama Tailgate for a discount at NewLifeArt.com. Now your host of the Tailgate Show, Mick Gillispie.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Flora-Bama here in Perdido Key, Orange Beach, as we get you ready for Alabama and Mississippi State. And you know, when the Alabama Crimson Tide are on the road, we fly down to the shore, and we appreciate all of you guys for being here as well, down here on the Gulf. And what a beautiful day for football. It's going to be a late game for the Crimson Tide, 8 o'clock kickoff as they take on Mississippi State. And this is a game for Alabama, and we're going to talk about it a lot as we preview it here, where we're going to see if Alabama can continue the momentum that they had last week. So welcome to the Bama Football Tailgate Show. The show is presented by Yuengling Lager. And Yuengling is America's oldest brewery. And for the next 2 hours, we're going to preview number 11 Alabama at Mississippi State, 8 o'clock at Davis-Wade Stadium. On the show today, we got our friend Chris Bryan from Fox Sports Pensacola, Thom Abraham from 97.7 ESPN The Zone up in North Alabama. We got Andrew Bone from Bama Online and On 3 Sports. We got Steve Powers from the Flora-Bama, who's going to join us as well. And Kenny White from Vegas is going to be here as well, including Reagan from R&R Cigars. And when we come back, we got our friend Chris Bryan, and also the famous Big Earl is going to jump on with us from the Flora-Bama. Everyone knows about him. But before we get there, let me remind you guys a couple of things. First, the show is brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling is a 6th-generation company. And Cheryl Yuengling, who went to Alabama, is part of the company's ownership. 6th-generation company's ownership, and she puts a little crimson love in each one of those green bottles. Hey, if you're looking for an alternative to Mick Ultra, it's Yuengling Flight. Crisp, low carb, light, low calorie. It's a really good beer. Check it out. That's Yuengling Flight. All right, guys, I'm Mick Gillispie, and again, here at the Flora-Bama. Bama was a big winner last week against Ole Miss. They're now 3-1 on the season. It was an impressive 24-10 victory, and they'll take on Mississippi State. The Bulldogs lost last week, but they finally got a little momentum with their offense. And so we're going to see kind of today if Alabama and their defense, which played tremendous football, only gave up one touchdown to Ole Miss, and that was in the first half of the football game, is going to be able to rebound. And, that's kind of the interesting part of this football season, is to see exactly how Alabama looks. They played one good half of football. So, I mean, that's where we are right now. But I think you saw with that half of football that the defense is really playing great. The secondary is the linchpin of this defense. And if you get pressure on the quarterback, and that was something that Alabama did last week, they got back there and forced quick throws, and the secondary took care of the rest. So that's where we are right now as we move forward. All right. Is one half good enough to tell us that Alabama is back? I don't know. And that's why today's game against Mississippi State is one that I'm curious to just kind of see, how this thing progresses. Jalen Milroe, obviously the starting quarterback, started to come into his own in the second half. Maybe Jalen Hale, who was his touchdown target last week, a freshman wide receiver, is the go-to guy for this team moving forward in the future. But Alabama's receivers have been really good this year. I think that the biggest issue that they've had is getting clean snaps and getting those snaps from McClellan, just to get them back there and not over the head of the quarterbacks, more smoothly. So obviously something to check out today as well. So we got a big show for you. Let me remind you guys that with the discount code Bama Tailgate at New Life Art, you can get buy one, get one free 2024 Crimson and White New Life Art, Daniel Moore calendars, all those great Alabama moments. And that's an excellent deal. I mean, you're talking about buy one, get one free. So take care of that now. With the holidays coming up, you can take care of two of your friends for the price of one. The Bama Football Tailgate Show is brought to you by Pearl River Resort and Casino in Choctaw. Now's a great time to make your picks count at the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sports Book. Coming up next, we're going to have Big Earl. Chris Bryan joins us, rolling right along from the Flora-Bama on the original Bama Tailgate Show as we get you set for the Crimson Tide and Mississippi State.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and it's time for Flora-Bama Fun Facts. The Flora-Bama first opened in 1964, and we're celebrating our 59th year of doing it on the line. We host over 150 events every year, including Mullet Toss, Oktoberfest, Halloween Costume Party, Frank Brown Songwriters, Thanksgiving and Christmas Potluck, the biggest New Year's Eve party, and of course, the Polar Bear Plunge on January 1st. All the events, including our live music schedule, are available online at florabama.com.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Yingling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yingling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yingling, bring the goods.
R&R Cigars invites you to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa. The best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, near Home 2 Suites, or Northport, next to Winn-Dixie. TheCigarMansion.com.
See yourself in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Back out at the Flora-Bama and having a good time as we get you ready for Alabama and Mississippi State. Chris Bryan joins us from WPNN Radio in Pensacola. And Big Earl, good to see you, both of you guys. What's up?
Well, I tell you, being from the Pensacola area, making our way out to the Flora-Bama this morning, and it was like amazing getting ready for the game tonight. The Pensacola Seafood Festival is underway. And talk about traffic delays if you're coming through Pensacola. Really? It's all weekend long. Yeah, that's what we encountered, a little bit of traffic delays. Other than that, beautiful weather this Saturday. It's gorgeous out here.
Yeah, not bad. What's up, Big Earl?
Just been enjoying the weather, drinking bushwhackers, and enjoying the weather.
Have you tried the pumpkin bushwhackers here?
No, I have not.
No.
Are they good?
Yeah, stop right there. You've got to.
Really?
I want to try one.
Mick turned me on to it. He said, "Oh, you got to go try this." So I went across the street to the yacht club.
Didn't even know they have.
Oh,
now right over here they got the bushwhackers with Reese's Pieces, and then you pour that other topper on top.
Oh yeah, floater.
Peanut butter
floater.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Screwball floater.
That's it.
Screwball floater.
Yeah.
Well, Big Earl, I want to introduce you to Chris, and I want you to talk about some of the things that you've done here, because when people come to the Flora-Bama and they hang out, they come for sports sometimes, they come for beer, but they also come to hear your show.
Well, yeah, I mean, two or three of them do. We were talking earlier before we got on air, and
it's good to have a mother-in-law, mother. Right?
That's right. And then, my birthday's in January. I started right after my birthday, so it'd be 30 years I've been here.
Wow. Somebody told me you were the HR guy at one point.
Well, when I taught cardiac ultrasound, and when I retired from that, I came over here and went to work as part-time manager, and I helped out with HR. I wasn't the main HR guy, but I will tell you this: when I get all the hate emails sent, I would respond myself. Yeah, he's terrible. We got to get rid of him.
It would be about you.
Yeah.
So Chris, what he does is he's got this show. It's a comedy. He's a musician, great musician, and he does comedy with it. And his group's called the Sexual Biscuits.
Big Earl and the Sexual Biscuits.
I love the name. That's okay. Where'd that come from?
Well, you know where it came from? I love that Eddie Murphy movie. I forgot the name of it.
Coming to America.
Yeah, and the Sexual Chocolate.
Yeah, Sexual Chocolate. Randy Watson.
Yeah, Randy Watson. So I said, we're going with Sexual Biscuits.
Yeah, Sexual Biscuits. So when you started the show, I mean, because you have your own album out. I mean, you had a CD out.
Yeah.
You had a hit song as a country music artist.
Yeah, in the 90s.
Yeah, and then kind of transitioned into this, and this is what people know you for now, and they knew you for that back then. How do you go from putting out hit music as a country artist to singing country music but making it part of a fantastic comedy show?
Well, they weren't big hits, they weren't big hits in the 90s, so I figured I better do something else. I said, you know what? I'm going to do what I always wanted to do. And I love writing funny songs. So I think I've done 16 Big Earl CDs, including "Don't Bring Herpes Home for Christmas" CD.
Oh yeah.
Which is it's just a beautiful thing.
Oh, okay, but where was the inspiration from?
I grew up in Arkansas. So I got all the inspiration I needed.
I actually from the Louisiana area, St. Bernard Parish. Maryland.
Oh yeah.
And we grew up listening to Justin Wilson.
Oh yeah, the guy's great.
Crazy Cajun guy. You know, he was great though. He was
great.
Actually great.
Now the guy, genius, really good. My stuff's a little different. I call it edgy. My wife calls it just stupid and nasty.
Yeah, right.
That's why I went by Big Earl instead of using my real name.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. I hear people. I call you by your real name if I'm not talking to you as Big Earl, but you're Big Earl right now.
Yeah.
And then somebody sent me your album. I was like, oh, okay. Well, you know, I found out late, but the music video you did was amazing. It was great.
Yeah, I worked in Branson 6 years, and then I had my deal in Nashville. I play guitar for other artists, David Allen Cole and other people. And my brother's an excellent musician. He's in Arkansas, between there and Branson, Missouri. Mm-hmm. And every CD I send him, he tells me the same thing. Man, this is terrible. You don't even try to sing anymore. At least tune up. But can you send me 2 more CDs?
Yeah, you just sign it.
But now no one's buying CDs.
Yeah, right.
So
now you just download the music.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk some football.
Arkansas is going to win the national title.
I know, and I was going to tell Chris that before you said it. But yeah, you're an Arkansas guy, and this is an Alabama show. But since you're Big Earl, you can come on. Alabama's playing Arkansas later on down the line, but played a good game, but lost to LSU last time.
Yeah, well, they because those Cajuns cheat. I mean, Louisiana cheat.
I could go into a Governor Edwards.
That's right.
Yeah, right. Like you can't even argue. And Chris has a lot of Louisiana ties.
I will tell you this: my Hogs better do something at my age. I want a national title Friday. I've got 6 SEC shirts in my closet. It depends where I play. I put them on. Yeah. So it's nothing for me to switch teams. But I really thought Arkansas was going to do better this year, but they're sort of looking like Alabama now.
Well, but Alabama's 3-1.
Well, yeah, but they don't look like Alabama.
Look like Alabama though, and that's the thing that I'm trying. When we did the opening monologue, and I'm thinking like, what Alabama are we going to see? And I'm being serious. Are we going to see the first half Alabama that stunk it up? Or are we going to see the second half Alabama that just beat the crap out of Ole Miss?
And, we talk about that on the morning show on WPNN. We talk about every day. We follow Nick Saban after the practice sessions, the press conferences, and things like that. Just wondered how or what point does a listener get to before the stories about that first half was horrible? I mean, he's hiked the ball over the guy's head. You've heard the whole thing. But how much can you take as a listener and saying enough's enough? Let's just move forward with this.
Yeah. Thing. It's got to be so tough when you are the best.
Yeah.
The best coach, the best team. And now you're in a little slump and everybody just listen, in Arkansas, we'll take the biggest slump Alabama's ever had.
Yeah, right.
But it seems crazy to me that you get 5 touchdowns called back?
Yeah.
And I don't understand why. I like the emotional Saban after the game.
So do I. I missed the angry Saban. We've all talked about that.
I do too.
This is a nicer segment, not Saban, but I'm going to give both of you guys a chance to answer this because you've been around longer than me. Is it because people have changed that Saban has to change?
I think it's all the money he has. He finally realized how much money he has. I don't want to have a stroke. I don't want to stroke out. I want to enjoy it.
Well, if you watch Nick Saban, he's taking all of his frustrations out on that Coke bottle now.
Oh, yeah, right.
Bam, Coke bottle.
Then he threw him a Bud Light up there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
But I tell you, they're playing Mississippi State, isn't it?
Mississippi
and
State.
Of course, that's my keyboard player's alma mater. He went to school, Mississippi State. Steve, and I think he went there 8 years and got his associate degree or something like that. But he did get a cowbell to bring home with him. But I would say he's going to be hyper this weekend.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens. What makes Saban a great leader to you guys? What do you think?
Well, we kind of did a nice transition here about his mannerisms.
Yeah.
How he can go from one extreme, the emotional side. I think he has the command of leadership. And this is what I was watching the first half of the game.
Mm-hmm.
When we started kind of unraveling a bit,
Yeah.
and he was really pacing the sidelines a lot.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, and listen, this is my opinion, but he would have done so much justice to the team if he would have just said, come out, call everybody over and calm them down.
Yeah.
That's what his strength is that calming nature about Nick Saban, and also his brain.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great leader. I mean,
Yeah.
he got his statue out front with all those national titles. Tell you that much. But remember when he went pro for a while?
Yeah.
And he said, you can't tell those guys anything. They got all this money.
Yeah, right.
But now I think about the same thing that's happening in college.
Great point.
These guys got all the money. They're coming there and signing it, getting $500,000, $1 million NIL deals. And it's hard to tell them.
Hard to tell them something.
And Saban went off on that 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he did.
And explaining that it is not good for college football.
No, none of this
agree
is
with
good.
it.
Guys, the last thing I want to get into on, before we got to let you go perform, Big Earl, you got a big audience waiting on you. Mike Leach. When I come here, I actually went to Captain Tony's last year in Key West, Mike Leach's hangout. And this was he said this was where the best party he's ever been to was.
That's what
How
he
much
said.
do we miss this guy?
Oh, man, he's awesome. I mean, you're talking about personality. But, we get so many people down here like it. Sean Payton used to come down here all the time.
Really?
And he'd sit back here in a little section off the side of the stages, and he'd say, Big Earl, I sort of write stuff too. He said, I want you and your wife to come to New Orleans, stay the weekend with me, and let's write some songs, just have a few drinks. I said, hell yeah. But he never gave me his number.
No.
All 3 times. Never gave me his number.
Yeah. See, been calm.
I was thinking, I'm going to get some tickets.
It's going to be great.
Or something, yeah.
You're going to be on the sideline.
Yeah,
You'll be standing there right next to him during the Saints game.
But that's what's good about Flora-Bama. We have people from every walk of life come here, and there's something for everyone.
It's great to have you finally here with you. I do have a question for you about the seasonality of the Flora-Bama. Does the audience composite change from like the summertime to the wintertime?
Yeah, we in wintertime we get more older people like us.
Yeah. That's okay.
Let me tell you this. Now, back years ago, when the snowbirds had come down, the season, the wintertime was long. Now the winter's gotten shorter and shorter.
Mm-hmm.
So many people living down here and coming around here full time. So you got your spring breakers coming, then you got some of your snowbirds coming in wintertime. But I'll tell you this, I've been here so long. When I first started, when spring break was going on, I'd think, yeah, that looks pretty good. I might be able to swing that. But now I look forward to snowbird season.
On that note, I got to end this segment and get to Thom Abraham to talk some more football. Favorite floater for a bushwhacker? You go first, and I'll let Big Earl.
No,
I'm going with Screwball.
Screwball.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go with that because it sounds good. I haven't tried it.
Yeah,
but
peanut butter Screwball whiskey. Long-time sponsor here. Maybe sponsor again soon, guys. Big Earl, have a great performance.
Outside of the wall, are we in Florida or Alabama right
I think we're on the Florida side.
We're in Florida.
But if Big Earl's about to walk to Alabama.
Well, actually, the whole Flora-Bama's in Florida.
Is it?
Is that right?
We just like saying it's on the line.
It
is. It's close to it.
It's close to the line.
Somebody that question.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Hey, have a great performance.
Great seeing you.
Awesome, man. That was a lot of fun. All right, we're going to come back with Thom Abraham from 97.7 ESPN The Zone and Huntsville and talk Alabama and Mississippi State. Don't go anywhere.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner. It all adds up. Every time a Tuscaloosa Hyundai customer refers a friend or family member to come see us, we are truly grateful. I compare it to doubling a penny for 30 days. Believe it or not, by day 30, that one penny is over $5 million. Now that's adding up. I remind every Tuscaloosa Hyundai team member, it's only a satisfied customer who will give you a referral. That ultimate compliment earned by effort and excellence. And Tuscaloosa Hyundai has all the tools. A new vehicle lineup to meet any driving need. Premium pre-owned under 100,000 miles that we stand behind with our exclusive million-mile warranty. Award-winning service, a company that values being named best of the best by our community. But above all, we are sincere in earning the trust that leads to a customer referral. And trust is priceless. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around, and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world-class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip. The best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is my great escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big prize.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Welcome back to the original Bama Football Tailgate Show. And as we broadcast every road game from the Flora-Bama on the coast of the beautiful state of Alabama and really in Florida as well, the Perdido Key. He's Thom Abraham up in North Alabama. I'm Mick Gillispie. And before you guys do anything else, please like and subscribe. Be part of our channel wherever you might be listening or watching from. I know a lot of you guys are listening throughout the state, but we're also on YouTube on Bama Tailgate. We got a lot to talk about. This segment brought to you by Visit Sevierville.com. It is a great time of year to go visit the Smokies. And I tell you guys that every year, and a lot of you do that because I hear from you, but fall is a great time to visit the Smoky Mountains. You've got just awesome places to check out. There's 4 different self-guided fall tours that guide you through the back roads and highlight all the historical points of interest and beautiful fall views. You can find maps and videos and all the stuff you need at visitsevierville.com/fall. Well, Thom, we are in a different place this week than we were a week ago with this Alabama football team. Everything that you could possibly think of in the game against Ole Miss, we're a little worried at the beginning, a little sloppy, and then they kicked ass in the second half, a 24-10 win. They sent Lane Kiffin in a tailspin. We'll find out how big that tailspin is. But what a great day for Alabama. Now they've got to build on that against Mississippi State.
They do have to build on it, and also they have to make sure that they're not peeking ahead to that trip to College Station coming up next week. And not that you ever want to overlook anybody in the SEC, but Alabama's been dominant against Mississippi State for so many years, and now this is the next step in a maturation of this team. Nick Saban will have to teach them to guard against getting overconfident because of what they did defensively, especially. It was the first time in, I think, 39 games or so under Lane Kiffin that the Ole Miss Rebels were held under 20 points in a game. It was a smothering defensive display. And again, it's a survive and advance type of year for Alabama right now. I mean, it's 1992 all over again, right? It feels like Gene Stallings' team. Just keep winning football games. They won't be able to deny you if you keep winning football games, but a lot of work to be done, especially, Mick, there's a unique scenario going on right now in as much as that there is no SEC teams between Georgia at number 1 and Alabama at number 11 or 12, depending on the poll you're looking at. So there are no real opportunities for them to beat somebody ahead of them.
Right.
And with the Big Ten teams that are in there and the Pac-12 teams that are in there, they'll start playing each other and maybe knocking each other off a little bit. But it'll be interesting to see how Alabama creeps up, and then how, if they continue to win, how the playoff committee will view this Alabama team. I think if you're an Alabama fan, though, you're pulling for Texas to continue to win and not stub their toe, because you want that to look like, yeah, that was a loss, but that's a loss against the top 3 or top 2 type of football team. And if you told me right now that you wanted to say that Texas was the number 1 team in America, I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't fight with that either.
Yeah, no, I would take it. And we can unpack some of that stuff, too. First, against Texas, Alabama had a tough time getting the plays out to the defense. Guys standing around, looking, wondering what's going on. T-Rob, as Lane Kiffin so skillfully pointed out going into last week's game, Tavarius Robinson now is the guy on the sideline calling the plays from Kevin Steele, as Nick Saban also clarified for us. But that communication process, along with maybe the best secondary that Alabama's had, and that is high praise right now for these guys. Malachi Moore, who's been great at star, have built this defense that when they get pressure on the quarterback becomes really tough. But one guy they're not going to have is Deontay Lawson. How does that hurt this Alabama team, missing one of their star linebackers?
As good as Lawson has been, did it feel like a big drop-off? I mean,
no.
It wasn't a big drop-off. I mean, his backup came in and played very well in the game. I think that the defense as a whole continues to work better and better. The back end is looking really good, but the back end always looks better when there's pressure up front, and they're starting to get more and more pressure. Now, go against a veteran quarterback again tonight, and so they're going to have to continue to kind of get that kind of pressure to help the back end of that defense. But I think defensively they're fine. The only question is going to be, will they continue to figure out a way to score, in the 20s or in the high 20s, or is there going to be an explosion at some particular point in time where it's going to look the way a lot of people thought it would look?
Yeah, great question. But you're right. Jaheed Campbell came in. He played well. Trez Marshall wanted this experience in Georgia. He wasn't going to get it. Now he's getting it at Alabama. And it just feels like it's a great opportunity to learn without one of your better playmakers out there on defense, but you got 2 other guys that are ready to step up. And depth has always been something that Nick Saban has relied on. Let's switch over to the offensive side of the ball. He's Thom Abraham, 97.7 ESPN The Zone in Huntsville, North Alabama, and the host of the Thom Abraham Show on our show here each and every week as we talk Bama football. Is Seth McLaughlin ever going to snap the ball cleanly for an entire game? I mean, what is going on with this guy?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, it is getting kind of scary because, and especially, I'll just go through the mechanics of it. When they high snapped on the goal line on 1st and goal, first of all, you're never going to see that again. I think Nick Saban was as plain and as clear. I had Mike Rodak from Bama 24/7 Sports on the day after he asked Nick Saban that question about whether he regretted being in a shotgun on 1st and goal from the 1. And Saban, said, I agree with you. I don't understand why we would be in shotgun. Now, I don't understand why Saban wouldn't be telling Tommy Rees at that time, go Elephant, put the heavy set in, let's go and push that ball in the end zone. On the other hand, why should Nick Saban have to tell Tommy Rees to go Elephant and use your 230-pound quarterback and shove that ball into the end zone at that point? I think Saban was as surprised as anybody else. But having said that, when you're on the 1-yard line and you're looking to get that leverage, everything on the 1-yard line is all about leverage. Get down low man wins on a goal line, going to get that explosion off the ball. At that point in time, it kind of changes the angle of the center's back. It changes the way, he's going to fire out. And so you're more susceptible to snap the ball high there. It's just the way it is. It's one of the problems with the shotgun in that scenario. But for the most part, you have to really like the way the offensive line played. They're coming along. They were able to run the ball some again. And, I think the pass pro was good. I think part of that was the fact that they called some running plays, for Jalen Milroe. We saw him on a quarterback sweep a couple of times and on a draw and things like that, which I think takes some of the starch out of the defense. So, again, it's all complementary. It's all works together. And I think that's what was important on Saturday.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I do a podcast, a shout out to Roll Tide Pods, Disrupt the Media, Elephant in the Room. And it's this room. And the elephant is actually Jake Coker. And he's like, hey, I don't know how you can quarterback with your head down. And that was something that Jimbo Fisher told him. You can't drive with your head down. You can't quarterback with your head down. The snaps have got to improve for whatever reason. Yeah. They're not getting there. Or I feel like Nick Saban is going to have to make a change, and maybe it's Brockermeyer that gets a chance, because you might lose in some other areas, but you lose every time the snap's bad, and for Jalen Milroe, who's trying to command this offense, who has this ability to run the football and throw the football, the mid-level game is something he's got to improve on. And then the other thing is with this team and this defense, Tom, he doesn't have to be a superstar. He's got to be kind of a explosive game manager, if that makes sense.
Well, they got to not turn the ball over. And if you're turning it over, that, when they airmail a snap over the quarterback, that might as well be a turnover. I mean, that drive was a minus 22-yard drive. When you take over at the 1-yard line, you're kicking a 40-yard field goal. Are you kidding me? So, so that type of stuff has to end. But from Milroe's standpoint as well, I mean, he threw a horrific interception in the end zone. He had a guy wide open standing at the 4-yard line that could have backpedaled into the end zone if he'd have chucked it down to that guy. Instead, he threw to a guy that was double covered and it was intercepted. So he's got to clean that up. But when he did throw, for the most part, what was he, 17 of 21, 81%, something like that. Yeah. He was highly efficient when he did throw. Still sometimes hangs onto the ball too long. But again, we got to remember, this is what, his fifth now start, something like that, fifth or sixth start. You just got to continue to get better and better. And if that happens, they're going to be all right.
Yeah, and that's how I feel too. It really looked like the second half of the football game against Ole Miss, we started to see what this team's identity is going to be. Run the football, throw deep, and be smart, play great defense, force turnovers, all the things that built Alabama and Nick Saban's dynasty. And, you hope that it continues. But this team also, Tom, has since really 2020, and it seemed like it was after that year that they weren't so dominant on the road anymore. And then last year they played 5 road games. All of them were tough. Look, I said it was college version of an NFL schedule. But they didn't. The only game that they won comfortably, they didn't win comfortably against Arkansas. And that was the game that Milroe started because he kept turning the football over with a big lead. Right? He at least has that experience to rely on when Alabama takes on Mississippi State late tonight. Right? But other than that, all these games are tight, and they want to get back to their being able to go on the road and send everyone home early identity. And I feel like today's game against Mississippi State is the perfect environment to get there.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you look at the one true road game, which was at South Florida, and they kind of stumbled and sleptwalked through that game. Can't have that kind of an effort against an SEC team, even if it's Mississippi State, which isn't at the top of the league. They're going to have to be better than they were there. But I think that experience at South Florida maybe got their attention. So we'll see how they go here. Again, the next one, which is on the road at Texas A&M, they can't be peeking ahead to that. I peeked ahead to it twice, but I'm not playing. in the game. They can't be peeking ahead to that. They have got to keep it the focus, the process, the one play at a time, win each play. All those things that Saban talks about is what they're going to need to do. But don't get crazy if it's a 10-point win. I mean, I know it's a 14.5-point line, right. But if they go in there and they win 24-14, survive in advance. That's the way. I just don't think we're going to see a lot of joyless murder ball out of this crew. I don't see that happening.
No, maybe never again, right? Thom, tell everyone how they can find you.
Find me at 97.7 ESPN The Zone in North Alabama, our app as well. Get that, download that app to your phone. You can listen to the show every day, noon to 2. On the X at Thom Abraham Show, Facebook at Thom Abraham Show. Basically, you can find it in all those places.
Tailgate Show is brought to you by Visit Sevierville.
See yourself in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
Coming up next, we're going to talk to Andrew Bone from Bama Online and the On3 Sports Network. And I want to tell you, too, that this show is proudly run when we're in the car, driven by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, the Elantra, the Sinatra, or an SUV like the Tucson. Tailgating doesn't get any better. We'll talk to Andrew Bone more as we preview Alabama and Mississippi State coming up.
Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yuengling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yuengling, bring the goods.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and we're excited that football is back. The Flora-Bama is proud to support Alabama football, and we invite you to join us at Flora-Bama Ole River Grill for a game day experience like no other. We have over 40 TVs and a brand new game day menu that includes endless wings, Santa Fe egg rolls, street corn nachos, and so much more. Bring your friends and join us for all the college and NFL games. Flora-Bama's Ole River Grill, open at 11 a.m. daily, right across the street from the world-famous Flora-Bama.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Tuscaloosa is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, It's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
This is my great escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pot.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Back on the original Bama Tailgate Show. Follow us on YouTube, Bama Tailgate, with our good friend Andrew Bone. I'm Mick Gillispie, reminding you that our show's always sponsored by our great friends at Yuengling Lager, a proud American beer company. 6 generations in the making. Cheryl Yuengling went to school with Bone and I, and a bunch of you guys as well, at Alabama. And Bone, I'm proud to tell you the secret to success for Yuengling is she puts a little bit of crimson love in each one of those green bottles, or maybe it's the new Flight bottle. I know some of you are looking for an alternative to Mick Ultra. Flight's your beer, crisp, low carbs, low calories, refreshing. Check it out. That's Flight by Yuengling. And this time of year, also, you can get the Yuengling Hershey's Porter and Oktoberfest Yuengling. So those are all out as well. This segment with Andrew Bone, a look around the SEC recruiting, a drive around Alabama recruiting, brought to you by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Our good friend Barry Buckner and the gang at Tuscaloosa Hyundai with some amazing deals, no side stickers. What you see is what you get with Barry. That's whether he's selling you a car or you're just hanging out with him and talking. He's an awesome dude. But another awesome dude is you, Andrew. Good to see you, my friend. How's it going?
It's good. It's been good. It's probably one of our last shows together for a little bit, but
big things coming for you. Big things.
Big things.
Well, really little things.
Little things. We have a little girl coming next week, so we're excited about that. Been very blessed. We have a 2-year-old son, so trying to get his mindset right. Trying to get our dog's mindset right as well. So it's we've got
sit down talks.
Yeah, we've got a lot kind of going on. This weekend, we won't be in Starkville. We'll be kind of getting the house. We got the nursery ready, so that's already done. But we got to get some other things kind of accomplished before next week. So be pretty exciting time and pretty sleepless time for us as well.
Well, look, Bone, congratulations. Fingers crossed. Everything goes smoothly. And when you're ready to come back, we'll find out how it is being a dad twice coming up soon. All right, Alabama plays Mississippi State, but let's stay in the high school ranks, talk about that Thompson-Clay Chalkville football game that happened on Thursday. That was a battle of the Titans. And Saraland and Clay, to me, are the 2 best teams in the state, although Thompson is a 7A school, Clay Chalkville a 6A school, but some Alabama recruits on display in that matchup.
Yeah, and speaking of best high school programs, you can't forget about Central High School in Phoenix City. They're an unbelievable program as well. So, but as far as last night's game, there was certainly a lot of stars on the field, and all the eyes were on Jalen Mbakwe. Alabama's 5-star commitment. I was getting texts from different friends of mine talking about it. So last night, a few of my buddies took me out for a little bit, kind of as know why, but kind of one last night, I guess, before I have 2 kids in our household. So we went out, and a buddy of mine had the game pulled up on his phone. So we were watching, pretty much the entire 4th quarter out at Odie's in Birmingham or in Homewood, and those plays that Jalen Mbakwe kept making. I think he ended up having over 198 yards rushing. It was 168, 198, one of those two. I can't remember, but had 5 touchdowns. I mean, just a big performance. I mean, this is just an incredible athlete. And you look at a lot of these Alabama commits. A lot of these guys obviously made decisions during the summer, or back during the spring. But you want to see how they're going to perform as seniors. And Jalen Mbakwe, even though he's recruited to play in the defensive backfield, he moved to quarterback for his senior season because Clay Chalkville felt like he could give them the best chance to win, and they just won one of the biggest games in the that we're going to see this year. Beating defending Class 7A state champions Thompson. They were ranked number 1 in Class 7A. So Clay Chalkville, I mean, just unbelievable performance there by the team. Of course, Thompson's got some special talent as well. Anquan Fagans is a safety in the junior class, just decommitted from USC a couple months ago. You also have Trent Seaborn, who's 27, quarterback who led Thompson to the state championship last year as an 8th grader. Now just a freshman, but he looked great as well throughout the game. So there's definitely a lot of talent in that game. We're going to see some talent on display, throughout the rest of the season. But I've been impressed with a lot of Alabama commitments. Caleb Odom over there in Carrollton, Georgia. Still favorite target for Julian Lewis, the number 1 quarterback in the 2026 class. I think he's got 6 touchdowns already this season. Rico Scott, one of the best receivers in the country. I think he's got 500 plus receiving yards this year. The guys, I mentioned Central Phoenix City, Isaiah Faga and also Red Morgan, both having great years. So a lot of guys having big senior seasons for their high school teams, and I'm sure Alabama fans are eager to get a lot of these kids on campus next fall. All right.
Hanging out with Andrew Bone. This is the original Bama Tailgate Show, Alabama, Mississippi State. Bone talking recruiting with the big weekend of high school football, or really a big Thursday and Friday of high school football around the state. Bone, Alabama got back on track against Ole Miss last week. What was the recruiting scene there, and what's it look like moving forward with 2 road games?
Yeah, obviously things slow down a little bit just because there's not going to be any recruits on campus the next couple of weekends. We'll see obviously a lot of kids in town for the Tennessee game. That 3rd Saturday in October. But last weekend there was still some good talent that was on campus, including Daniel Hill out of Meridian High School in Mississippi, one of Alabama's top running back targets. I mean, he's had a great trip to Tuscaloosa. I think he's visited 14 or 15 times. So it's kind of surprising that he's still not made a decision, but he was supposed to commit last month on the 23rd, but decided to hold off. I think South Carolina felt like they were in the driver's seat. Now it's an Alabama-South Carolina battle, but Tennessee is going to get him on campus this weekend. So that's going to be a big visit for him. So we'll kind of see how things go after this weekend. But I think, as far as, Alabama's concerned, I think the biggest thing moving forward is, who's going to end up making it to campus next month for official visits, who's going to potentially make decisions. Solomon Williams, who is, there's not really an extensive recruiting board left. I mean, there's probably, I would say, less than 10 targets that are out there. Mm-hmm. Solomon Williams, 4-star edge target out of Carrollwood Day down in Tampa, is going to make his decision likely around October the 16th. That's kind of the decision date he's looking at. Hasn't officially set yet, but that's his mom's birthday. He's going to take an official visit to Texas this weekend. It could come down to Alabama and Texas. Alabama's kind of been considered the leader, even though he's never named a leader. Everybody just kind of has assumed. Now, he's been pretty quiet with his recruitment, but he took a visit to Austin back in late July. He's going back there again. So I think Texas has the potential to make a move there with Solomon Williams, but Alabama remains pretty steadfast in their pursuit with him. So it's all about the remaining positions of need for Alabama. And we've talked about this before. We're still looking for a running back. Still looking at defensive linemen. Still looking for an offensive tackle. There's still a few DBs out there. Still a couple linebackers. We've really broken it down in depthly on Bama Online. Kind of all the guys that are out there that they're still looking at, that they have a great chance to sign. But it's all about can you continue to impress on the field? And I think everybody was all upset about the Texas game, and then all of a sudden, they had that close game to against USF, which let's just call that kind of a fluke. I think you line them up again. It's not going to be that like that. I think there was probably still some upset players from that Texas game.
Still getting it figured out, Bone. Still getting it figured out.
Yeah, and then you throw in, a couple quarterbacks who hadn't played before as far as starting, and it was just kind of a recipe for disaster. But luckily, Alabama got out there with the W, and then got it together in that second half against Ole Miss, and
beautiful thing.
I'm interested to see kind of what the rest of this season looks like, because that second half was what you wanted to see. Now, can we see that the rest of the way? Can we see that against Mississippi State tonight? Can we see that against Texas A&M on the road, which is going to be an unbelievably tough environment with a ridiculous defensive front that is going to provide a lot of pressure for that defense on Alabama's offense. So can they get out of those next 2 weeks with wins, then get back to Tuscaloosa and have some road game or have some home games? So it's going to be an interesting month to see how it all kind of shakes out for the Tide, and if they can go undefeated, and get to that LSU game in early November. It's going to be an exciting time for Alabama, and we should see a lot of big name recruits on campus for that LSU game.
Going to be a lot of fun. Well, Bone, good luck with everything. We'll be pulling for you, and then when you get everything back at home, kind of down pat, and you're ready to join us again, we can't wait to talk to you. But folks, you can follow Andrew Bone, Bama Online, part of On3. You got Bone, you got the message board. It's not just recruiting anymore. It's recruiting. It's a team site. They follow Alabama with our friend Clint Lamb on there, and Travis Ryer and Tim Watts, who's been around the game for a long time. And you mentioned Jimmy Stein. It's a lot of great people at On3. I've worked with some of them, and I've known the other group of them forever. So it's an all-star team, just like the Crimson Tide. Thanks, Bone. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
You too. And don't forget, this segment's brought to you by our friends at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Here's a message from our friend Barry Buckner.
Every Tuscaloosa Hyundai is value priced, and Tuscaloosa Hyundai doesn't add the side sticker. I recorded that nearly a year ago, and I'm pleased to say everything is still value priced at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. What's shocking is shoppers tell us about other dealer-added markups and pricing adjustments that cost you thousands more when you buy, and thousands more again when you trade. It's even more important today. No added side stickers is why you come to Tuscaloosa Hyundai.
All right, when we come back, we're going to be at the Flora-Bama. We're going to be hanging out with Chris Bryan and Steve Powers, and who knows who else might pop in. The original Bama Tailgate Show, previewing Alabama and Mississippi State tonight, 8 o'clock under the lights at Davis Wade Stadium. We'll have more right after this.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner. It all adds up. Every time a Tuscaloosa Hyundai customer refers a friend or family member to come see us, we are truly grateful. I compare it to doubling a penny for 30 days. Believe it or not, by day 30, that one penny is over $5 million. Now that's adding up. I remind every Tuscaloosa Hyundai team member, it's only a satisfied customer who will give you a referral. That ultimate compliment earned by effort and excellence. And Tuscaloosa Hyundai has all the tools. A new vehicle lineup to meet any driving need. Premium pre-owned under 100,000 miles that we stand behind with our exclusive million-mile warranty. Award-winning service, a company that values being named best of the best by our community. But above all, we are sincere in earning the trust that leads to a customer referral. And trust is priceless. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around, and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world-class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip, the best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is my great escape.
Where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Welcome back to the original Bama Football Tailgate Show, and we talk Alabama football. They play late tonight against Mississippi State. I don't know why I said Ole Miss. I know it's a different part of the state, right? But they play late tonight, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern time, and the Crimson Tide are big favorites in that game. We're going to talk about that game and more. This is our odd segment, always brought to you by our good friends down at Pearl River Resort. It's a great time to make your picks count at Pearl River Resort, by the way, in the Timeout Sports Lounge. So it's about an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa. It's our little slice of Vegas, very close to Alabama and Mississippi, Philadelphia, Mississippi, and Choctaw. The Golden Moon Casino is fantastic. You got great golf over there and all the table games and everything else. So I'll talk more about that as we move on. But it's great to see you guys again. Reagan from R&R Cigar. He's with us each week. This is like Joe's versus pros. And our pro is Kenny White from out in Vegas. You deserve that, Kenny. You've been doing this for a long time. Tell everyone as we get going here how they can find you and your power ratings and help their picks, because I'm not allowed to read the power ratings. I'm picking against you each week, and the standings reflect that. Reagan's 8-4, you're 7-5, and I'm 2-10.
Well, Mick, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I always enjoy doing the show with you and Reagan. It's always a lot of fun. So, I've been in this business over 30 years, setting the betting lines. Now I'm on the other side of the counter, betting against those lines that other people are making now. So, it's a challenge every day. It's a roller coaster ride, but you got to be ready. You never know when that hot streak's coming. I know you're 2-10. You got a 10-2 streak coming really soon. My power ratings are probably the best value in anybody betting sports. Those are updated every week after the games. They're manually and automated updates on those. So, they're updated for injuries as well, which makes it very, very important for people who are betting. You got to know who's in and who's out. So $20 a month gets you NFL power ratings, college football power ratings, Major League Baseball projections. I'm coming out with NBA and NHL soon. I'm working on both those sports right now. And then college basketball. So $20 a month, you get all of that. You decide what you want to bet by seeing the biggest differences of what the line is that I make the line and what the betting line is. And that's just the best way, I think, to do it for anybody.
Sounds great. Well, let's get into it. And Kenny, you're one of the best in the business. Reagan's been on a hot streak. This has been a very interesting start to the season. So, guys, let's get things going right here. A lot of SEC action that we're going to talk about tonight. And one of them is South Carolina is at Tennessee. Last year, it was South Carolina that derailed Tennessee's playoff chances with an upset, just thrashing of the Vols in Columbia. This year, well, it's Tennessee at hosting South Carolina. A little revenge. This game way earlier in the season. Reagan, I'll start with you. You're on fire right now. How do you see this one going down?
You know what? I like South Carolina. I really do. I'm not buying into the Tennessee hype. I saw Tennessee get absolutely mollywopped by Florida. Again, I always say don't overthink it, but I think when it comes down to the teams here, I like Spencer Rattler over Joe Milton. And South Carolina, maybe I'm listening to Corey Miller too much, but, I like South Carolina to cover that 11.5.
Yep. Get the points there on the road in a rivalry game. It's a rivalry game. What about you, Kenny?
Yeah, I like South Carolina. I've been on them a lot this year. Shane Beamer, I think, is a tremendous coach, one of the up-and-comers in the college football world. Obviously, his dad was a Hall of Famer, Frank Beamer at Virginia Tech, but Shane has coached at many different stops under many different Hall of Fame coaches, and he's learned the trade well. And I like what I've seen out of this team the last couple of years. They're well prepared every single week, and they come to play. And last year, they really took it to Tennessee, so you'd think there'd be a huge revenge factor here, but I can't give a revenge factor when South Carolina is going on the road. They know what they're going into. They know it's going to be hostile. They know Tennessee wants revenge. And Beamer's telling them they want to beat you by 50. And if you don't come to play, they're going to. And I think the Gamecocks will be ready. I think they've got the talent to hang in there. And I think they got the talent to keep this game close. So, yeah, I'll take the points as well as Reagan did.
I kind of feel the same way. I mean, both of these teams had early season losses. You talk about Tennessee, Reagan, and they lost to Florida. Well, North Carolina's got a really good quarterback, and they beat South Carolina at the beginning of the year, kind of held close at the beginning and then pulled away at the end. So I know that you guys are right with 11.5, but I'm also way back in the standings, and I've got to roll the dice a little bit. So what I'm hoping is that Joe Milton is able to move the ball for Tennessee, throw some deep passes, something that Tennessee has to have to win the style of football that they play. 11.5 is a lot of points, but the way that things have gone for me anyway, with every game that I think I'm going to be right, I'm wrong. Might as well go against my instincts, and I'll take Tennessee and give up the 11 at home. All right, second game, LSU is at Ole Miss. Kenny, I'll let you start this one. We just saw Lane Kiffin and his bunch get beaten up by Alabama in the second half on Saturday. This is their season. They lose this ball game, and I think Lane Kiffin would be in some trouble as the head coach maybe, and this program would be as well on the momentum that they had last year before losing out at the end of the season. And for LSU, they got beat by Florida State, called out by Brian Kelly, and they've been a better football team since then.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear you say that about Lane Kiffin, that he could be on the hot seat. No shame losing at Alabama to the Crimson Tide, not playing well. Obviously, we all loved Alabama last week because we knew they were going to bounce back. And Mississippi, I still think, is a very good football team. Jackson Dart, I think, is a heck of a quarterback. I think they're gonna show up this game at home. I don't have a huge difference here. I think it's a pick'em type game. I think you can flip a coin. I think if they played 100 times, each team will win 50. So give me the plus 2.5 with Ole Miss here and Lane Kiffin to save his job.
Reagan?
I don't see it. I really don't. I think LSU wins. I don't really think it's terribly close. I think that this game's a recipe for disaster for Ole Miss, coming off the road to Alabama. I think Ole Miss is absolutely hanging their heads about not winning last week. And they all kind of sat. It's kind of all wasn't my computer. Was kind of sad boy about we thought this was our chance to get them. I think Jaden Daniels gave Pete a fit last year with better players. And I love Pete, but I think that LSU is a better team, and I think Ole Miss is a 7-5 team. I really do. I've thought that from the beginning of the season. I think they go back to being 7-5, and I think that 2 losses in a row is one of the ways that they do it.
I agree with you. I feel the same way. I think they got exposed last week.
I feel bad about my pick.
Well, look, I know this. You should be in trouble because I'm going right with you.
Now, Mick.
But I feel the same exact way. I think that that they don't have the players to compete with LSU or Alabama. You got all the talk that Lane Kiffin did last week, and then he leaves with egg on his face. Last year, Alabama beat him, and then they lost all the games after that. For Ole Miss to be in the upper echelon of the SEC, these are the games that they have to win. And all of a sudden, you look at Lane Kiffin, and you're like, well, what's the best win you ever had? Oh, we beat Indiana in a bowl game. So this is trouble for Ole Miss. They need this game a lot more than LSU to me, but Brian Kelly's a better coach, and they're a better program. I'm with you, Reagan. So that should tell you something right there. All right. Last game we're going to pick, Bama at Mississippi State. I'll start us off, guys. Mississippi State is an opportunity for this Alabama team to continue what they did in the second half. Alabama has struggled on the road to put teams away, but for whatever reason, it hasn't been in Starkville lately. Now, that was with Mike Leach, a guy that we all love and miss, but Nick Saban and Pete Golding did a good job against that air raid offense. Now it's a pro set offense. Zach Arnett is the head coach of this team. They're trying to find an identity. Looked like they found some of it last week against South Carolina. It could be tough. Alabama's had a hard time putting teams away, and 14.5 points, a touchdown plus. Could Alabama blow these guys out after what we saw at South Carolina? I don't know, but I bet against Alabama last week and they won. I'm going to do it again. I'm taking Mississippi State into 14 points. 14.5. I think Alabama wins the game. I would love to be wrong in this one. I've been wrong a lot this year. So that's why I'm going to go with State. Kenny?
I'm on State as well. A very low scoring game. This total obviously at 42. I think it should be lower than that. I think that this game could be played in the 30s. Obviously, both teams combined scoring here. Mississippi State's played a couple of really poor games, but against some really good quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels and South Carolina quarterback, Spencer Rattler. So Milroe's a good quarterback, but he's not the type of guy to beat you with his arm. I think Mississippi State has to make some adjustments here. Could be a little bit of a letdown for Alabama coming off the Mississippi win. Always beating Lane Kiffin is going to be big for them. They do have Texas A&M on deck. They won 30-6 in this game last year. It could be much of the same again, but I think Mississippi State really needs to come to play. I like the 14.5. It's not a big play for me because I did make the game 13. I don't have a big difference here, but I do lean to Mississippi State, so that'll be my official play.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think I would bet this one in the real world. I just don't know what to make of Alabama yet. Reagan?
I like Alabama. I mean, guys are on the Tide pregame show.
I took Bama to win, but not by 14.5.
Both weeks in a row. I mean, that's why I'm the number one in the standings. So it's okay. I mean, you guys can hate on the Tide and doubt. I'm not going to do that because I believe in our team and I believe I believe. So I think Alabama wins something along the lines of 31-13 this week. I think that they've figured out a little bit of identity on offense. I liked what I saw last week versus Ole Miss. I liked the play calling for the most part. It was still a couple stupid penalties that shot him in the foot. And, I think they had a much better game plan going in for Ole Miss. And, I like what they did. I really like what they did on offense last week. It was not the same boring stuff we'd seen. They went to a lot of 2 tight end sets and 3 tight end sets, and I think that helped a lot. They got away from it a little bit in the red zone, and it was a bad. I mean, how many times are they going to have a bad snap before they make a change? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I've said the same thing.
But I mean, you're talking about the 1st and goal at the 1, and you kick a field goal, and then another play in the red zone, and you throw a pick. You've left 11 points on the board, and then the game is not even remotely close. That was my computer. And and if they just run the ball up the middle, their quarterback sneak it, then we're talking about a much different game. And
I know score there.
So I think Alabama wins by the 14.5. I'm taking the Tide.
All right, and tell us about R&R Cigar. What do you got cracking?
Well, I mean, it's another big football weekend. I guess it's late, so the game's going to be over, and then we're probably going to be closing soon after the game. But tomorrow we'll have the NFL Sunday Ticket, and I think there's a UFC fight coming up soon. And we have a lot of cool stuff in October. We're getting ready for the Victory Cigars. We have a special Victory Cigar coming out this year that you will only be able to buy at R&R specifically for the Alabama-Tennessee game. So that's going to be really fun to debut on the show in a couple weeks.
Awesome. Well, great hanging out with you guys, and we'll do it again next week. And again, our segment always brought to you by the people at Pearl River Resort, our good buddies over there, Golden Moon Hotel and Casino, and the sports book at the Timeout Lounge. They offer traditional sports betting in which guests can bet on all professional sports and major college sporting events. Bet on your favorite team, catch the game in that beautiful, comfortable Timeout Lounge. 20 TVs with feeds from all the major sports networks, 12 state-of-the-art odds wager boards listing the games and the scores, 3 wager stations to place in bets in person, a full bar. They got it all right there at the Timeout Sports Lounge in Philadelphia, Mississippi. We're going to talk Alabama and Mississippi State. More of the Bama Tailgate Show coming up.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and it's time for Flora-Bama Fun Facts. The Flora-Bama first opened in 1964, and we're celebrating our 59th year of doing it on the line. We host over 150 events every year, including Mullet Toss, Oktoberfest, Halloween Costume Party, Frank Brown Songwriters, Thanksgiving and Christmas Potluck, the biggest New Year's Eve party, and of course, the Polar Bear Plunge on January 1st. All the events, including our live music schedule, are available online at florabama.com.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Yingling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yingling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yingling, bring the goods.
R&R Cigars invites you to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa. The best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, near Home 2 Suites, or Northport, next to Winn-Dixie. TheCigarMansion.com.
See yourself in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Welcome back to the original Bama Tailgate Show, getting you set for Alabama and Mississippi State. Show's brought to you by Yingling Lager, America's oldest brewery, and we're talking football right now. Look, for the next 3 segments, I've got an all-star panel.
Wow, who's coming?
Oh, really? Yeah, not you guys. No. You know what? I don't have an all-star panel, but I do have you guys. Here, give me that iPad there.
It's just an iPad. They're very durable.
Yeah.
You drop them, they're fine.
It works.
It's a very pricey case he's got on there. It's very nice.
Steve Powers from the Flora-Bama. What's up? Right. You looking good, Steve?
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. New shirt today.
Yes, it's solid. It's got the Flora-Bama logo on it. And Chris Bryan from WPNN.
Hey, buddy, I like that. Yeah. I like that. It's weird for me to not wear a Flora-Bama shirt. Like on a day where I go to dress and I'm not going to Flora-Bama, like it's just weird. I should be wearing a Flora-Bama shirt, but I have one on, just a whole wardrobe. Obviously.
Well, it looks fantastic. Let me remind all you guys that are hanging out with us that our drive to a championship tailgate is brought to you by Genesis of Tuscaloosa. And we're at the world-famous Flora-Bama here in Orange Beach and talking Crimson Tide football and tailgating and everything else. Is it world famous, though? It is world famous, this place.
59 years.
Jeez.
59 years. 1964 built, was to open in July and then burned down. And then
oops.
It really did. It really did. And then in 1964 in August, it reopened. Tampere family had it at that point. Joe Gilchrist came in, I think, in 76, and then Pat McClellan in 84, if I'm right. And then John and Cam came in about 12 years ago or so, or something like that. Here's what I'm surprised with, that you're still on the air and broadcasting because you had Big Earl on this show. I just assumed
They haven't
would
caught
be
up with
shut
us yet.
down by now.
Yeah, they haven't
How
caught
was
up
he?
with
Did he behave himself at all, or was it just...
We had to use a lot of blips, but that was normal.
Here's the thing. When I explain the Big Earl show to people, I say this. If you're there 5 minutes and you're not offended, just wait 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Because
right. Just
you
give 'em
probably
time.
will be. Mick, I love that you do the show here. We're in the Down Under. This is what we call the Down Under as soon as you come out of the gift shop. It's just such an iconic place. Every single day I walk in here and think, man, I got to be the luckiest guy alive to be working here. It's it's such a great thing. Yeah.
I was talking to one of the delivery guys. I was taking the elevator up a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And all of the signatures on that elevator, inside the elevator.
Right.
I was looking at these names in there.
Yeah.
And I said, if these walls could talk.
Oh, yeah. We have a little something we call Black Marker Confessions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that on your show?
It's on Flora-Bama Radio,
Flora-Bama Radio?
And it's just simply people reading stuff that's on the walls here, and it's crazy to see. There's a book about it. If these walls could talk, that's exactly what it's called. So,
And here's something to ask: as a leader of your team here at the Flora-Bama, do you have to brief these guys on the history of this, or how? Because I say this for this reason.
Brief who?
Like your staff.
Oh.
Because let me just tell you.
Yeah.
I spoke to a gentleman that's across from us right now.
Lance.
And I asked him about the fire. And he says, and he gets into the details about it's the west wall over there. And,
Yeah. I think all of us have to have a certain mentality of being the tour guide here.
Yeah.
So immediately when somebody walks in and they've never been here because it's this.
No,
It's and you can walk up and go, you've never been here before. But just to explain the history of it and what it's about. And Joe Gilchrist said this the best. When he told artists before they come to play here, he'd say, just lower your expectations and everything will be fine. When you walk in. I mean, I love this place with all my heart. And it's amazing to work here every day. It really is.
Yeah. You mentioned the artist, and Mick and I were talking about this earlier. How many artists actually go through here?
Yeah, it's a good question. How many come through here?
When we're hopping, we have 6 stages. There's 3 inside the Bama.
Mm-hmm.
There's 1 on the beach. There's 1 at each restaurant across the street. So that's 6 stages. Live music 365 days a year. We go between 3,500 and 4,000 acts a year that play here.
Wow.
I mean, it's enormous, the amount of people who come through here as artists. And a lot of the folks, come from Nashville and they walk away with just this feeling of, I just played the Bluebird, or I just played Losers or Winners.
Oh, look.
There's nothing like this.
No.
If you look anywhere else. 6 stages?
Yeah,
That's
look,
crazy.
one of my favorite stories in my entire life was when I was at Alabama as a student. Every Tuesday, we went and saw Wayne Mills Band at Harry's Bar in Tuscaloosa. And a lot of people that are listening right now remember those days.
Absolutely.
And it was a big deal. And then I got a job where I was promoting Skull and Copenhagen in there. And, and of course, that led me to get to know Wayne and the whole band, right? So then I became a friend of the band.
Of course,
of course. And so my wife and I come down here years ago on our vacation. I took a week off from baseball and came down here. It was before I lived down here. And Wayne's playing. And I said to my wife, hey, Wayne's playing. We're going to walk in there. And I said, and he's going to probably stop playing and shout me out.
Yes.
So he's in the middle of a song and I come walking in and he stops playing and shouts me out. And she was just like bug-eyed because,
But that was Wayne.
That was Wayne, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew Wayne from way back in Tuscaloosa and all that. And, I hate that he's not with us anymore because I think that his career was really starting to take off as a musician. But former Alabama football player, great guy. And every time I'm in here and I go upstairs, I see his portrait on the wall and I miss him so much just as a friend. And But that's what this place is, man.
It really is, and we still honor Wayne Mills every year on November 19th.
That's right.
And Carol comes, and his son's a great musician.
Really,
he really is. He played last year on Wayne Mills Day, and all the artists kind of fight for that day to play on Wayne Mills Day because they all loved him so much and he meant so much to everybody. But that was Wayne. If you knew him, whether once or twice or a few times, he was very, very good with people and just an incredible person and an incredible artist too.
Yeah, what was it like here at the Flora-Bama on a night that you're just having a normal night, and somebody like a Kenny Chesney or Buffett walks in the door?
Yeah, that's the thing. You just never know, right? When Kenny comes here, we literally find out maybe a couple hours beforehand.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just one of those things where you just can't let that stuff out a few days before, So he was actually going to play here last year for 3 hours. We had a whole plan. I got a call at 12:05, and Kenny was coming at 2 that day.
Right.
And he was going to play a 3-hour set in this dome.
Oh, yeah.
Right here. This was the last time he was at the Wharf.
Right.
Sadly enough, Jimmy Buffett didn't play at the Wharf that night, that Friday.
Right.
Kenny filled that spot, so Kenny wasn't able to play here that day. But he did come by and he hung out for 15, 20 minutes on the stage and did that. So we never find out, but it's pandemonium. It's crazy. You can't get through, and there's a sneaky way we bring people in. We call it, I shouldn't even say this, but we call it the Al Capone door. And it's back here in the corner, and nobody really knows where it's at. But we sneak people in this way. Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Well, you guys are sticking around. We're going to take a quick break. We come back. We're going to talk Alabama and Mississippi State. This is a big game for the Crimson Tide, and Mississippi State could change the direction of their entire season. But we're also going to talk about Mike Leach, who we lost since the last time Alabama played State. So don't go anywhere. More of the original Bama Tailgate Show coming up.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. PG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner. It all adds up. Every time a Tuscaloosa Hyundai customer refers a friend or family member to come see us, we are truly grateful. I compare it to doubling a penny for 30 days. Believe it or not, by day 30, that one penny is over $5 million. Now that's adding up. I remind every Tuscaloosa Hyundai team member, it's only a satisfied customer who will give you a referral. That ultimate compliment earned by effort and excellence. And Tuscaloosa Hyundai has all the tools. A new vehicle lineup to meet any driving need. Premium pre-owned under 100,000 miles that we stand behind with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty. Award-winning service, a company that values being named best of the best by our community. But above all, we are sincere in earning the trust that leads to a customer referral. And trust is priceless. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around, and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world-class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, Every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip, the best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big prize.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Welcome back to the original Bama Tailgate Show here at the Flora-Bama, hanging out with Steve Powers and Chris Bryan and talking Crimson Tide football. And before we get into that, guys, I want to remind you and thank our good friends at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. This is the Bama Tailgate Show, and it's brought to you by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, the Elantra, the Sinatra, or an SUV like the Tucson. Tailgating doesn't get any better. Barry Buckner and Tuscaloosa Hyundai is the best. No side stickers. I had a buddy that went to buy a car.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, the side sticker, that's an extra $4,000. And he's like, what?
The side sticker?
Well, they don't do that to you at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. So
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine when you're trying to scrape by,
right?
And you look on the sticker, you just want to know how much the darn thing costs.
Right.
You know, and they've got, honestly, the Hyundais are made now in this state. For me, I drive from Fairhope to up north to Tennessee.
Yeah.
I pass the plant outside of Montgomery all the time.
Every time.
So it almost feels like, and I'm about to get a new car. I'm at over 300,000 on mine now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, which is crazy.
That's
right?
impressive.
Honda
though.
Accord, from 2010.
That's impressive.
But I'm going to get a Hyundai this new car coming up. And it's crazy that they're built right here in our state.
That's right. That's it, as they should be.
Yeah, right.
As they should be. It should make you proud to own one for sure.
No doubt.
Well, good. That's great. They're a sponsor, Mick. That's good.
That's a big building at that exit in Montgomery.
It's awesome.
Jeez.
All right, guys, like and subscribe if you're hanging out with us. If you're listening on radio across the state of Alabama, Bama Tailgate. I know a lot of you guys are going, I've seen you here, and I know you from here.
Yeah.
Bama Tailgate, it's my new YouTube home. And then, of course, obviously, we're going to keep doing the radio.
I love crazy,
radio.
dude.
I know.
Your YouTube's
it's so fun.
Blowing up,
I know.
man.
It's
I love
fun.
it.
But I'm not giving up on radio, guys.
No, you shouldn't.
I
You
like
shouldn't.
both of them. But there's just something magical about being on radio.
It's the theater of the mind thing for me. I mean, that you can explain where we're at and kind of paint that picture. You know, that's the great thing about radio. Here's a great example I was always told. You like your steak one way. I like my steak one way. You like your steak one way.
Right.
You put the steak on the grill and you hear the sizzle, right?
Yeah.
And now you're smelling it and you've seen it. What kind of steak? What kind of steak are you choosing?
Medium.
All right. What steak are you choosing?
Probably rare.
A rare?
Wow.
Okay. And I'm going with the filet.
You're going.
But in your mind, we've all created our own mind of what that steak looks like and what it is. So radio will never go away. It just becomes a digital. It's on a different platform.
Right.
But I still think for the rest of our days, this is going to be very, very viable.
And
I really do.
You're absolutely right. And the thing about you always have to remember about radio, it's the frequency of mobility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't take that away.
Yeah.
In car listening right now.
I love listening to baseball games with you. I love listening.
Thanks, brother.
To the Bama games. I mean, it's just you can paint that picture yourself.
Magical
right?
about it.
But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be honest. I was driving back from Gulf Shores last night because we had a little thing at the Sunset Concert Series.
Mm-hmm.
And so I turned on Gulf Shores football. And the first thing I thought was, these guys should really listen to Mick.
That's.
I'm not trying to be mean.
There we go.
I almost recorded it on my phone, Mick, and sent it to you because I was like, Mick would die if he heard it. But it was a lot of that they and he and not knowing the players. But you have to tell him. Here's the uniforms. They're going north to south. They're running right where they're kicking. But I was like, I should call Mick and really play this more. But I did.
Get me working. All right, guys. Well, let's. And I appreciate that, Steve. And by the way, the Smokies won the championship.
I know, buddy. I'm just
my first ring.
I'm so excited for that.
World Series ring.
Yeah, but
really
you paint the picture so well, dude. There's no question.
And I appreciate.
You did the same thing when we did the mullet toss.
Yeah, we did. We broadcasted the mullet toss. When I almost died from emergency appendectomy surgery.
Yes.
I was in bed dreaming about. I have to get out of this because I've got to be part of the first ever mullet toss broadcast. That's a true story. All right, guys. Let me get back to football.
We should talk about football. I guess we should. We talk about football.
Lane Kiffin trolled. He trolled Nick Saban last week. He had the comment about he posted the picture, the video of Taylor Swift's concert. Dynasty's falling.
Yeah.
He made a video where his dog's not coming because of the 5 stars. He was talking about the defensive coordinator really not being the defensive coordinator. Did all that trolling unite Alabama?
I would think so. I would think so. They're going to rally around it, Coach. Man,
they the second half told me that they did. Right?
Yeah,
had to.
Absolutely.
Something happened. Definitely something happened at the half.
Yeah.
But again, I think it was probably Saban. I wasn't in the locker room. I don't know what was said.
Yeah, you can imagine.
But I would think that. But I don't think there was hollering or screaming. I think that Saban went in there with his psychology approach.
Right.
Guys, this is what we have to do. Calm down.
Right.
Just calm down. And we've got it under control. We just have to regroup.
There are times for him to yell.
Yeah.
And I think he chooses those very carefully, He's obviously doing it right because he's done it for a long time and he's done it very well. So whatever formula he's following.
Right.
But how cool would it to be, in a locker room at some point listening to that?
Well, one of my questions last week was, have you ever had a boss like Nick Saban?
Right. That's a great question.
I'll throw it out for you guys. Like, have you ever had a boss like Nick Saban?
I'm just glad I'm not one of the reporters on the receiving end.
When he doesn't like what you say?
I'll be honest. If I was a reporter in that room,
right,
I don't know if I could get the question out.
I don't either.
I mean, especially if he's looking directly at you and he's got that deadpan look, like I don't care what you're going to say. Kind of, it's not mean.
Yeah, right.
It's just how he looks.
All right.
Right?
Shout out to Disrupt the Media. I'm part of that with Jake Coker. Right.
Love it, dude.
Pods,
we got to talk about that.
Yeah, elephant in the room. But I asked him what it was like playing, and he's been on the show. He'll be back, and he says Nick Saban's funny. He jokes around all the time.
Really?
I think once you get to that point where you've gone through the process,
right,
he chills out and he really likes you.
He shows that a lot of times before the conference begins.
Right.
When he's coming out at the
right.
He kind of loosens up a little bit until the first reporter, asks him a stupid question, and that does it.
That just lights him up.
Yeah, sure
and
does.
Our friends at Next Round had him on one time, and I was listening. I was like, these are the oddest questions I've ever
they probably
heard.
asked him, right?
They just ask him the oddest things.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is not about football at all. But he probably enjoys it because it's a break from all the football questions.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that there's an LSU tie. I spent a lot of my life with the Cubs. Jim Hendry was the former GM of the Cubs, and he had LSU ties, and that's how Paul Maneri in part got to LSU, right? The old baseball coach.
Exactly right.
Well, what I didn't know is they kept asking me, is Nick Saban an all right guy? And I said, I don't know him that well, but I've heard he is.
Yeah.
And then Jim works for the Yankees now, and Saban is a huge Yankees fan, and they all love him. Like, he's a great guy. He'll come to Yankees camp and stuff. Like, quietly.
That's amazing.
That's it, and they really like him. So I think that he's honestly used to be very high strung kind of, now he's like a grandpa, like he's chilling out. But I also feel like part of that is that the way that you deal with the kids of this generation isn't screaming at them and spanking them. And I think you got to be more kind of like it just doesn't work anymore.
Right. You have to find what works for each.
Yeah. Like, how do you motivate these guys?
Right. And you've got to find that. And that's the job every year because it's changing so much from when he was first coaching, from one team to another, to what the kids are thinking and doing now, and how you get their attention. Remember, our attention spans now are about 7 seconds, right? Like a goldfish, pretty much. And so you got to get their attention right up front, right? Yeah, right.
That's poop. I can eat that. I used to have a goldfish. All right, how does Alabama's team get better today, guys? How do they get better today against Mississippi State?
You mean in the fans' eyes, or in the?
How to just going out there? How is this team going to take the next step?
I think you have to maybe rely more on the defense. They got a great defense. I mean, Alabama's defense, not the problem here. But I think you're going to have to really hang on to that, get them off the field, and give our guys more time on the field to really maneuver the ball. A lot of times it's kind of lopsided in terms of total time spent on the field.
Right. That's what killed Alabama early.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
against Texas, like you score a touchdown on a deep pass on the third play, and then they're driving down the field, and then they get the ball right back. That's a great point. Like, the defense is the strength of this team. The secondary is the best that Nick Saban's had. And when you put a pass rush, Dallas Turner and those guys are getting pressure on the quarterback. Malachi Moore in that star position is honestly been amazing. He was all over the place. When Lane Kiffin looked like he was going to cry in the post-game press conference, I think it started with Malachi Moore, because he was surprised at the fact that Malachi was going to be all over the field on him like that.
Right. Yeah, I think there's something to Alabama coming out and being tested by the offense, Mississippi State. I mean, honestly, they're scoring some points, man.
Yeah.
They're scoring 30 points the last 4 games, right? That's going to be a test for them. I know the defense is probably the strong point, but I think if they can shut that down, I think, covering, what is it, 15 now?
Yeah.
The spread's 15?
14 and a half, 15.
14 and a half right now.
I think it's a game changer if they cover it by 3 touchdowns.
All right.
I think that changes things, and it kind of gives them a little more confidence. I don't think this is as confident as an Alabama team as we've seen in a while. Right? I mean, just the way it went with Texas,
but they've got to build on that second half. And I
agree.
think, and hold your thoughts there. I want to talk about Jalen Milroe and game managing when we come back. The original Bama Tailgate Show from the Flora-Bama. More right after this.
Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yuengling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yuengling, bring the goods.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute, sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and we're excited that football is back. The Flora-Bama is proud to support Alabama football, and we invite you to join us at Flora-Bama Over Grill for a game day experience like no other. We have over 40 TVs and a brand new game day menu that includes endless wings, Santa Fe egg rolls, street corn nachos, and so much more. Bring your friends and join us for all the college and NFL games. Flora-Bama's Ole River Grill, open at 11 a.m. daily, right across the street from the world-famous Flora-Bama.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. if you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. PG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Tuscaloosa is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pot.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Good, honey. Well, we
Good to
are
see you,
to the
love.
final
Good to see you.
segment of the original Bama Tailgate Show and hanging out with Chris Bryan and Steve Powers. I'm Mick Gillispie talking Alabama football. This thing's blown by. I've had a great time here at the Flora-Bama.
Yeah.
Hey, I've had such a good time.
Yeah.
I'm coming back next week.
Are you next week too?
Yeah, is that cool?
You're
Let's do
welcome
it.
here
All
7
right.
days a week, buddy.
For Alabama, Texas A&M. As a matter of fact, all the times that Alabama leaves Tuscaloosa, I'm just going to come here.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I mean, why not,
This
right?
is your home away from home.
Yeah,
And you're always welcome here.
You guys got the Yingling Lagers cold and flowing.
Always.
And, we're hanging out. All right,
Always for you.
let's talk, guys, about the quarterback situation. Can Jalen Milroe I thought in the second half of the football game he did a really good job of managing the team. Not he's got to be more like McElroy than he does Bryce. He just needs to just don't turn it over if you got to punt or if you got to kick a field goal, but rely on the defense. Can he do that? Bingo.
Not the end of the end of the day.
Let's just hope he can.
Yeah.
But you hit on the defense, just like we talked about just a few minutes ago.
Right.
That's your key. That's your key. I think it was Vince Lombardi said, defense is the key to winning.
Right.
That's absolutely true. Time tested.
I think that gave him a lot of confidence. And that's probably what they need to settle in and go, okay, this is the path, right? Because it's been questionable. Which route are we taking?
Right.
Which way are we going? But that second half, I think you're absolutely right, Mick. It probably gave him more confidence as a leader. And I think that's the role he needs to settle in on because that's what the quarterback does. That's what the quarterback does.
One of the last press conferences Nick Saban had, he said, I got 3 words for you. And he does that pause thing.
Right.
Kind of give you
the pause is
that
perfectly
pregnant
placed.
pause.
Absolutely. Yep.
Challenge, emotional, aggressive. We win games if we do that.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Nick Saban, bingo.
All right, give me a score. Is this a trap game? And give me your score. Give me your score on tonight's game.
21-17, Alabama.
So you're taking State in the points, but Alabama wins.
Yes.
Okay.
They're going to hold them to 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I hope the defense shows up like that. I think they cover for sure.
The 14.5.
I think Alabama's. I think Alabama's going to be right around that number of 14, 15. 2 or 3 touchdown win.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But I want to give you time to talk about the Flora-Bama.
Oh, dude, we talk about the Flora-Bama all the time. Let's talk about your new show that you're doing with Jake.
That's a good show. But listen,
Dude.
how about Mike Leach here? You got 30 seconds. Give me Mike Leach here.
We did a really cool ceremony last year with the Mississippi State game, and we thought, a few people will show up, so let's open up the main room. Packed house.
Yeah.
We showed Mike Leach talking about the Flora-Bama. We put that video up, and there was cowbells in there, and it was an amazing atmosphere, dude. It was just so cool because people love Mike Leach for who he is, but if you love the Flora-Bama and you love Mike Leach, you're like, well, I'm going to the Flora-Bama that day. Yeah, it was awesome.
I love that Saban's conversation. He says, well, somebody asked him, well, what do you talk about when you go to midfield with Mike Leach? He goes, can you believe it? The guy wants to talk real estate,
Absolutely.
farming.
It ain't about
He
football.
doesn't talk anything about it.
It ain't about football,
He's like,
man.
hey, did you see those aliens they found in Mexico?
Right.
Which is what I loved about Mike Leach.
Yeah,
and I miss
yeah.
Mike Leach, and I'm sure that Zach Arnett's probably had to live in his shadow a lot this year. And it's a big shadow.
Big time.
It's a big time shadow.
Big time. Very, very beloved man. And, everybody misses him. And we love the stories. We love the history. And I think that's what we have. When you lose somebody like that, you just have to rely on things like that and go, man, but, the press conferences, the games. The press conferences after the games, it was almost more entertaining than the game sometimes.
Yep.
Just waiting to see what he said.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, quickly, the Flora-Bama. Tell me about the Flora-Bama. What do we come here for?
Oktoberfest is coming up next weekend, and it's Sunday here, and it's Customer Appreciation Day, and we have a band called the Brats playing.
Right.
So if you hear like a Bruno Mars song, but it's done in polka style,
there you go.
That's what we're talking about here.
Right. Endless Wings, too.
So that's across the street at Old River Grill, which is there's 40 TVs over there. There's Endless Wings, an incredible football menu Saturday, Sunday. So we invite you out for that. But don't miss Sunday. I mean, I'm telling you, customer service next weekend, the Oktoberfest celebration, free beer when you walk in the door.
Oh, I'm here.
All
You got
right.
me. You won me on free beer. That's right. I'm going to be here.
It's going to be me, and I take care of your beer as I usually do, Mick. You know that. No problem there. But
I know that.
Listen, I appreciate everything you do for the Bama. You're welcome here any day of the week, and we love having you here, man.
It feels like home. Chris,
you
and a
should.
shout out before we get out of here. Chris Stewart tonight has the call for the game.
Okay.
For the Bama game.
Yep, that's
Eli's back home, and
that's
Chris
right.
is out of the road.
Love Chris.
Well, that's awesome.
Chris is my boy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Because we had him at the at the Bama.
We used to broadcast baseball together.
Right.
And we had a great time. And I think now that I'm older, I'd probably even enjoy it more if we ever did that again. He makes me laugh.
There's nothing like the bonding of calling a game together because you're relying on each other for things, and it brings you together. So I appreciate that you appreciate that relationship. That is awesome, man.
All right, that does it for the show. We had a great time at the Flora-Bama.
Man, time flies fast.
I know, it goes by fast when you're having fun.
Crazy.
Alabama against Mississippi State. Roll Tide, everybody.
Roll Tide, baby.
We will talk to you again next week.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner. It all adds up. Every time a Tuscaloosa Hyundai customer refers a friend or family member to come see us, we are truly grateful. I compare it to doubling a penny for 30 days. Believe it or not, by day 30, that one penny is over $5 million. Now that's adding up. I remind every Tuscaloosa Hyundai team member, it's only a satisfied customer who will give you a referral. That ultimate compliment earned by effort and excellence. And Tuscaloosa Hyundai has all the tools. A new vehicle lineup to meet any driving need. Premium pre-owned under 100,000 miles that we stand behind with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty. Award-winning service, a company that values being named best of the best by our community. But above all, we are sincere in earning the trust that leads to a customer referral. And trust is priceless. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around, and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world-class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip, the best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is my great escape.
Where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pot.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.